Hello ladies, welcome to this video on understanding the energetics behind what Majestic Confidence is and why a lot of women might still feel that deep vacancy and yearning inside of them even after years of spiritual and divine feminine energy work. So if you haven't had a chance yet, I do highly recommend that you participate in my free Enchanted Soul Healing Meditation. You can find the link to that listed down below. And I highly recommend that you participate because it's really important for you to understand how to actually self-source personal power. I know I talk about it a lot on my page, but it's one thing to intellectually hear that. It's another thing to actually know how to actually do it. So it's important because it's going to help you understand how to fill yourself up from the inside out. And that's going to be the key to you filling your inner voids, filling insecurity that you might be holding on to, that might be causing issues with your self-esteem. So again, you can find the link to that listed down below. And a lot of women are still plagued with this distorted inner narrative on the inside of them, and it causes you to view life through the lens of a 6-year-old little girl. That's going to have you perceiving abandonment and rejection where there isn't any. It's going to cause you to get unnecessarily offended by things where you shouldn't be, and just cause a lot of destructive behavior and neediness in you that's going to get in the way of your majestic confidence from being able to develop. So Enchanted Soul Healing, it is designed to help you calibrate an embodied feeling of self-assurance into your nervous system. So the more that you participate, the more that you are able to anchor deeper into who you are. And that is going to be your key to a feeling of solidity and courage and resilience and softness and this irresistible, alluring vibe that you're looking for as a woman. So the more that you do this practice, the Enchanted Soul Healing, it allows you to anchor your self-esteem on a cellular level. So instead of that surfacey, self-love talk from your head, you're actually bringing it down into the body and changing your entire inner world. And that is going to be your key to fulfillment that you're looking for, and the key to longer lasting, more sustainable results. So unfortunately, what a lot of women walk around with is a very wounded way of perceiving themselves. So there's a dominant story going on inside of you on an unconscious level that might be wired to the frequency of shame. So when you feel deeply shameful on the inside, like there's something wrong with you, you feel alone, you feel unprotected, that's going to affect your behavior, and that's going to also have you playing out a lot of experiences that are a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So if you find yourself continuing this pattern of unavailable men who don't show up for you, or maybe you have this pattern of feeling really doubtful, you have a lot of negative self-talk, that's because deep down on an unconscious level, there's some distortion going on that you need to bring resolution to in order to change those experiences. So if your early childhood experiences as a little girl were filled with hurt and abandonment and rejection, you're going to deeply feel like that's all that exists for you and that's all that you deserve. So let me know if you have patterns of outrageous control. Maybe you get manipulative, you get needy. When you're dating a guy, when you find a guy that you like, you start getting really obsessive and you're clinging and you're clenching and you're trying to grab him to force him to be with you. You feel really unprotected, and that's because deep down you don't feel like you are lovable. You feel unworthy on the inside, which is what's causing those behaviors and those patterns and those habits. You feel like you have to be sneaky and capture the attention that you want because deep down you don't feel like you actually deserve it. But what a lot of women don't understand is that there's actually something so much greater for you that's out there if you choose to invest in yourself and invest in this journey. And when we see a lot of women acting out from the more distorted version of herself, it can be absolutely devastating and very destructive. It's a very disruptive, chaotic, needy, controlling, animalistic, survival mode type of behavior that doesn't care if it hurts itself or other people in the process of getting what it wants. But Majestic Confidence is the process of integrating both your inner warrior and your feminine spirit, and the merging and the unification of that on the inside is what deepens that feeling of you being at home with yourself and that self-trust within yourself. And then you're going to be able to realize that, wow, I can have the love or the whatever that I want without hurting myself or hurting other people in the process. So when you're in scarcity, when you're in that deficit, when you're energetically barren on the inside, when you're empty on the inside, that's when you find yourself settling and chasing and forcing and controlling, When you know how to nourish yourself, when you know how to rejuvenate yourself, when you know how to fill yourself up with vibrancy and vitality, you start to trust yourself and life a lot more, and you don't feel the need to control other people to get what you want or force other people to get what you want, because you already know that it's going to come to you because you already feel like you deserve it. So this is not about perfection. The Enchanted Soul exercise, it's designed to dissolve some of that distortion that might be going on inside of you, just so that it's no longer driving and consuming your life like it used to. So when you can begin imprinting yourself with that feeling of majestic confidence, that's going to allow your courage to begin to take the lead in your life and be the dominant energy that's playing out for you. So that lower part may always be there, just because we're human, we're always going to have, fear or doubt here and there, and that's very normal. But the more that you can kind of separate from that and get yourself more into alignment with the confidence inside of you, the resilience, the courage, that's when you begin to feel more at ease with who you are. You start to build a lot of self-trust. So this feeling of no matter what's going on and no matter what's happening, no matter who comes and goes out of my life, I'm still good. So that is the energy of majestic confidence. Not about perfection. It's more about resilience and solidity and courage on the inside. And that is what it really means to self-source your own personal power and your own validation for yourself. So a woman starts to get really needy when she's vacant on the inside. So when you don't have enough of your own life force energy inside of you, filling yourself up, fueling yourself every day, that's when you find yourself going through life trying to clench and twist and contort your external environment and other people to fulfill you. But we all know that that approach always leads to a dead end, so let me know if you can relate to constantly needing more distractions and more attention and more social media and more this and more that. You keep looking, you keep yearning, you're hungry for something, but you're never quite full. Because your energy is going this way. You keep going this way trying to find fulfillment, when really you have to go this way from the inside out, rewire yourself from the inside out, cleanse yourself from the inside out. And that is what's going to give you that fulfillment and that feeling of luscious strength, that oasis of alluring feminine power that you're really looking for. So the woman who is energetically barren and vacant on the inside, the woman who's in that deficit, that scarcity mode, she's more susceptible to falling for a weasel. So a weasel is going to be the kind of, in this context, I'm talking about men, but men and women can be weasels. It's just, what that means is just, it's a deceptive, controlling, manipulative type of person. So a woman in this energy, when she's more empty on the inside, she's going to be more susceptible to a weasel type of man, because those kind of deceptive men are going to end up weaponizing her emotions against her. Because she's in that intense starvation mode, because she's empty on the inside, that's going to really blind her to red flags. She's going to confuse love bombing with genuine interest. These weasels, they use abandonment, they use betrayal, they use rejection to try to harm you. And a woman who's not aware, a woman who is a little bit more on the naive side, she's going to fall into that trap, and that's going to be a really disruptive pattern for her that she's not going to be able to get out from. These kind of weasels, they want to distort your reality, and they're looking for the woman who doesn't know who she is. So if you are a woman who is still unsure, you're still wobbly, you're still flaky, you're not quite grounded yet, you might be an easier target for a weasel to sink their hooks into, because they're looking for the kind of woman who doesn't know who she is. You're going to end up aligning with men who mirror that vacancy right back to you. So when you don't know who you are, you're going to attract deceptive men who try to tell you who you should be. Whereas if you do know who you are, if you are secure, if you are solid, if you are imperfect but responsible and self-assured, that aligns you with healthier quality men who mirror that same energy right back to you. So a little bit more about weasels. Weasels are going to be men who are vacant within themselves. They're very parasitic. It's a very vampiric energy that they carry. And they have a desire to steal a woman's heart energy in order to capture her and control her in some way. So In order to spot one, I go deeper into that in my paid program, The Art of Elite Feminine Sovereignty, and all of the signs to look out for in a weasel, how to spot deception in men, and also how to spot a supreme energy man. What I call a supreme energy man is just a man who is more high quality, he has a higher caliber to him, he's healthier, he wants to give to you, he's not trying to take from you. I teach women how to do that, how to differentiate between that over in my program. So if you want to dig a little bit deeper on that, feel free to join us. I'll leave the link to register down below. But I will share a quick tip on how to differentiate between those two kind of men. So a weasel, you want to watch out for observe how he interacts with other people. How does he animate himself when he's interacting with other people? So weasels are going to come off very entitled. They're going to come off as if they are robbing you of your heart energy. They're going to come off as though they want to put confusion in your head and, withhold their clarity in order to keep you feeling wobbly and unsure. Whereas a supreme energy man, those are the kind of men who want to add to your life and care about your well-being. So I wish I could dig deeper into that right now, but we don't have the time to do that. So again, if you do want to take that deeper, understanding how to spot a weasel, how to avoid deceptive, controlling men, and how to attract and keep a good quality man, you can register for my program, The Art of Elite Feminine Sovereignty. I'll leave the link to that down below. So when I encourage women to embody their majestic confidence, their unique nectar, their unique flavor of woman inside of them, the point of that is to come home to who you are, to be at ease with who you are. So eventually that's going to allow you to repel weasel-like men and then become an energetic match to higher quality men. The kind of men who have character that don't want to harm you, but they want to actually protect you and look out for you. So that's the key difference between a weasel and a supreme man. A weasel wants to control, they want to hurt, they want to steal. They're all about bravado and ego and superficiality. Supreme energy men, they want to build with you. They are producers, they add to your life, they are respectful. So it really is important to know the difference, because if you don't, you may end up with a weasel unknowingly, and those kind of people can really take you out. Like, they can really drain you of your heart energy, of all of your life force, of your money, of your life. So I do highly recommend that you take the time to understand how to vet men properly. And again, we go into that a little bit deeper over in my program if you want to sign up. So Majestic Confidence involves an exalting of your inner warrior, also known as your inner divine masculine energy, as well as healing your feminine spirit, your feminine soul, to create that healthy union of both polarities inside of you. So the more that we can bring unification to you on the inside, that is when your nervous system begins to relax. That is when you begin to feel safe and secure within who you are. And that is what begins to anchor this feeling of solidity on the inside out. So Majestic Confidence is the energy of your exalted warrior, which is this, it's a very solid, self-sourced, I'm fulfilled energy. I'm solid in who I am, along with your feminine spirit, which is that vivacious delight, that playful spirit. It's that unwavering potency in who you are, along with your feminine charm. It's that inner security with that taste of luscious juiciness that keeps you vibrant and filled with vitality. So it is the energy of both that are running at the same time. And can you see how mystical that vast range of energy can be? When you're solid and secure and self-assured and grounded, but then you're also like playful and soft and sweet and innocent, that's a really beautiful feeling to carry yourself with, and that is your key. If you've been wanting to be that magnetic, irresistible woman, especially when you're dating, this is going to be your key to being able to do that. So the more that you participate, the more you exalt the warrior inside of you, that part of you that's responsible for that grounded energy inside of you. What you're going to notice is that you're going to begin to repel people who are not good for you. So what I notice in myself is that the more I raise my own inner warrior, the more I anchor that feeling of grounded solidity inside of me, the more that I soften into my feminine spirit, the less weasels I attract into my life. And on the off occasion that I do encounter one, not only can I immediately sense when something is off, but I also can see them getting very irritable and very anxious when they're around me, just because I know that they can sense that I can see through them. So I've never had to get aggressive with anyone. I've never had to like tell anyone off and like, be really loud and aggressive in order to have boundaries and to be assertive. People can sense when you are self-assured. People can sense that majestic confidence that you are exuding, that frequency that you're exuding. So you won't really have to worry about much, because people like that who have bad intentions will run away on their own. So this part of you, the inner warrior, that's definitely missing in a lot of feminine energy programs and practices. I know there's a lot of focus on feminine energy heart work and being soft and being nurturing, and that is a good energy that you want to embody. But if you only have that and you don't have any of that grounding structure inside of you, that's going to leave you feeling really unprotected, because there's no structure inside of you. So you do need a blend of both in order to create that unification inside of you. So think of your majestic confidence as a house, so the artwork, the yummy food, the decorations, the furniture, that represents your feminine energy, the softness, the vibrancy. But if there are no walls to that house, if there's no roof to that house, if there's no floor, no structure, all of the pretty stuff inside of you is going to fly away, because there's no structure there. So this process allows you to clear out that old energy and then rebuild and raise yourself from the inside out. And that's going to allow you to really have that conviction in your energy, that strength, that self-assuredness in your energy. And you won't be such an easy target for these vampiric people to devour you. So majestic confidence is basically like a gatekeeper surrounding you. So it's a protective shield that guards you from people who have bad intentions, but it also helps you heal the old pain that you might be holding on to little by little. So it's not an overnight process. It is a layer by layer type of thing that we have to go through and heal. But the sooner that you begin this process, the better. I wish we lived in this fluffy unicorn world, but we don't. It really is in your best interest to focus on what you can control, which is you. You do have full control over you and your boundaries and how safe you're showing up in your body, in yourself. And the more they're able to do that, that's going to allow you to have better discernment. It's going to allow you to vet people properly. It's going to allow you to feel energy a lot better and know who to stay away from and know who to call into your space as well. So it is best. This is how you keep yourself safe when navigating the world. And also, this is good information that we need to pass down to our younger generations as well. When we heal ourselves, we also allow other women around us to heal as well, and also the little kids that we may have around us as well. We do set the tone for the confidence that the generations beyond us have as well. So to recap, it is your majestic confidence that's going to create that unification on the inside of you. And the more that you participate with this exercise, that's going to allow you to heal those old layers of perversion that may have collapsed you with grief and shame and despair. And this is going to end up changing your frequency and the signal that you're sending out into the world. So then when you find that you are feeling more solid on the inside, that's when you start to feel relaxed. That's when you start to feel at home with yourself. You start to trust yourself a lot more. Your hips are going to glide a lot easier. You're going to see that you're walking through life a lot less paranoid. Your voice is going to have a lot more conviction and strength to it. Your heart is going to soften. Your feminine energy will feel safe enough to flourish and blossom. And you'll just finally feel safe within yourself to emerge and to blossom and be seen in life. And that is what the divine feminine is all about. It's all about us articulating and expressing our deepest desires and expressing that unique flavor of woman that we are. It's a soft but luscious strength that feels really good. It makes you feel very vibrant. I feel my body vibrating when I'm navigating life, especially I feel it a lot at night. When I'm resting, I just feel myself pulsing with electricity, and that is that divine feminine energy that's flowing through me. And that is a much better, stronger, more powerful feeling to me than being so armored up and guarded and shielded and cold like I used to be, but to feel more deeply protected because that energy is protecting me and surrounding me. So I encourage women to stay away from tricks and games that might keep you on the surface. So you see that a lot within a lot of channels and things out there, and focus more on resolving your inner world and bringing resolution to your distortion on the inside. Because if not, that's going to have you running in circles but never actually going anywhere. My work, what makes me unique, is that I focus more on healing yourself from the inside out, clearing out those blockages that are there, and what begins to emerge from there is the unique essence, the unique flavor of nectar that you are as a woman. And that is going to give you that fulfillment that you're looking for as the divine feminine woman. To embody that very juicy, tender energy that's also firm and solid in who you are. So that is what it really means to be a self-sourced woman. And I'm not interested in telling you how you should be, how you should dress, how you should act. But I do want you to feel better about who you are. That's my main goal, is to help you find the unique flavor that you are. And when you do, that's when you become really unstoppable. That's when you have the initiative to create the desires that you want in life. And that's when you find yourself being repelled and repulsed by low quality, lazy, passive men, and you find yourself only gravitating towards the men who honor you like a goddess and who respect you and treat you well. This is when you feel better about yourself, that's when you find new blessings being able to come into your life, because you're gonna finally be able to feel like you deserve it. When you move away from the rejection complex, that allows you to heal your self-worth and feel more worthy to receive the things that you desire in life. And when you're no longer debilitated by that distorted inner narrative, that's when you'll be able to breathe, and this is when you find yourself glowing and illuminated from the inside out. That's because you're connected to the power source, a power source that you have control over. So when you know how to charge and nourish and rejuvenate and fill yourself up with bliss at any moment that you want to, we do that through the Enchanted Soul exercise. I do it in the morning, and it allows me to fill myself up, and it keeps me charged up, it keeps me energized, it keeps me feeling safe and secure and solid in my body. And that allows me to feel really blissful within myself. That allows me to feel really beautiful, overall beautiful, not only physical beauty, but just inner beauty as well. That spiritual beauty, that everlasting feminine spiritual beauty. And that sounds it is a lot more powerful than you being able to self-source something like this on your own, is a lot more powerful than you having to be dependent upon other people to make you feel better. And I get comments on my energy and my aura all the time, how I glow like the sun. And I hear this a lot when I'm out salsa dancing. I know a few weeks ago I was in a class and one of the guys had said, he's like, "You're the only woman in this room that makes me nervous." He's like, "Stop intimidating me." And he said it in a joking way, but he was serious. And I find it amusing because all I'm doing is just existing and being myself and trusting myself, and other people can really feel that. I have never had to be combative or aggressive with other people in order to be respected. It really is more about saturating yourself, your inner world, with a feeling of reverence, and then what you'll find is other people feel compelled to mirror that right back to you. And to me, that's a lot more easier than trying to control other people into respecting me. I would rather respect myself and then have them mirror how I feel towards me back to me. That's a lot easier. So it's not a quick fix. I know people think healing is like an overnight thing, but it's not. I've been on this journey for 6 years. I've discovered a lot of various techniques and tactics and healing methods, and I finally have solidified my unique healing process, and that's exactly what I teach over in my program, The Art of Elite Feminine Sovereignty. I do highly recommend that you join us and register today. The link to that is down below. But it really does require you to be devotional and committed to yourself, to being consistent. Unfortunately, a lot of women, they'll get excited initially, they'll get excited in the beginning, but then over time, they allow their fear and their resistance to take over, and they go back to neglecting themselves. But for the women who do stay committed, those are the women who experience stunning, remarkable, beautiful results. These are the women that end up moving out of their unworthiness. They're healing their shame. They're healing the fear and the grief and the abandonment and the rejection that they're holding on to. And they're really the ones who are serious about themselves. They really move into this feeling of inner worship instead. And when you truly feel worship for who you are, for the beauty that you are, for the essence of who you are, when you feel like royalty on the inside, when you feel like majestic power on the inside, that is who you're truly meant to be as a woman. That is your natural state, that feeling of luxury, that feeling of inner beauty, that feeling of solidity, that feeling of security, and just that inner knowing that you deserve the beautiful things that you really desire in life. You know, so your worth is not about how much attention you can get. Your worth is not about how many men want you and how much money you have. You know, those are the extra things that are fine to enjoy, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But the goal, the deeper goal, in my opinion, should be you coming back to the reverence inside of you. You know, that really is where your value is. You know, it's really the core of who you are. You know, so I do highly recommend to work your way from the inside out and really anchor that self-assurance inside of you first, lay that secure foundation inside of you first, and then let everything else just be the extra. To me, that's a much easier way to live. All right, my loves, thank you for showing up. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, feel free to leave that down below. And make sure to register for the free Enchanted Soul meditation so you can get started and begin this process with me. I will leave the link to the free meditation down below. And then for those who want to access the extended full version of the Enchanted Soul exercise, there is two versions. I have the free initiator version, and then there is the deeper one that you will need in order to take it a little bit deeper and further. If you want access to that, along with the other remarkable classes that I have over in my program that contain a lot of elite education on divine feminine energy resurrection and really becoming that irresistible divine goddess, then you can register for my paid program, The Art of Elite Feminine Sovereignty, which is open for enrollment. So I will leave the link to that down below as well. All right, ladies, let me know your thoughts on this. Leave me your insights or your questions down below. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next time. All right, take care.